through this whole 6 years while we were trying for a baby, we got some form of support, so some we sought out, some came to us by out of genuine concern, and we really really valued that. And what I'm going to share with you are some of the places we got support. Some are pretty much obvious, but though they may exist in your own setting as well, but perhaps they are not doing what they ought to do. And so if you're that kind of person and you have someone in your family who is going through infertility right now, I hope that you will rise up to the occasion and be there, be a shoulder that they can lean on. Some came, and what we're able to do though with all this support was that we're able to set boundaries. We're able to tell how much information we could let out, because you don't want to just put it all out there. And so you've got to know, though the support is around, but you've got to know how to set boundaries, and it's got to be both of you and your wife. You've got to know when to set these boundaries. And so I'm going to be sharing with you some of the places where we got this support and how we're able to utilize each and every one of them. The first and most obvious place is yourselves. No one aside God, of course, quite understands how we felt in what we're going through like ourselves. And in finding that support from ourselves pretty much came from communication. Communication was key. We talked about everything, every little detail, from the doctor's appointments, from drug reactions, what we were told to expect. We talked about virtually everything. And so no one's emotions were bolted in. No one's emotions or body language were misunderstood, because we were free. We talked about this, because this communication, kept us aware of the other person's feelings and enabled us set healthy boundaries and communicate better, in the sense that we're now able to know where to apply pressure to get the other person speak. And we know areas that were sore, we know areas that were no-go areas, and so you had to just tread carefully until the person is able to come out and freely talk about it. We're not pushing anyone. We're not like, okay, we must talk about it now, this is how you should feel. We're free to be vulnerable. We're free to express our fears. We're free to show our concerns. We're free to cry for with each other, and just be vulnerable, and so that helped, because you just knew that you had that one person that you could talk to and not hold anything back. And so that really really helped. So if you're a couple and you're going through this, there's no first place, no best place to look for support than for yourselves. The man has got to support his wife, and the wife has got to support her husband in this journey. You talk things through. You talk everything through. Don't keep anything. Don't assume the other person knows. Don't assume the other person is also feeling the same way you're feeling, or the person ought to feel in a particular way. Both of you have just got to get grinding and have this journey together. Another support structure we had was family, and I really, I can't thank my family enough. My in-laws, my parents, my siblings, I cannot thank them enough for the kind of support that we got, because this is Africa, right? And most times when couples get married, not long after, they start hearing questions like, is she pregnant yet? Is your wife pregnant yet? And stuff like that. None of that ever came from my parents or my in-laws. None of that ever came. They are not like they never asked, right? They just wanted to know, and each time we told them where we were in our journey, all we got were words of encouragement. There was never pressure. Nobody ever said, okay, we need a grandchild, when is he coming, I'm getting close to the grave, and all that. All those things add to the pressure, and it's actually not good. It is never good at all, so I never had that. All I could get from my parents, and my in-laws were, don't worry, children will come. Don't worry, we're praying for you. Children will come. We're praying for you. Children will come. And that's all. That was all we need. That was all we heard. And so we told them our journey, when we started visiting when we started going to hospitals, places we've been, treatment plans that we're on, things that we've tried, and all whatnot. And they were with us all through the journey. Sometimes they just call to pray for us, and my mother-in-law did that a lot, and I really appreciate that. She called most times and just to speak words, just to pray for us and encourage us, and that really meant a whole lot. And so maybe you've got someone in your family that is going through this now, and you can't tell the amount of relief that they feel just knowing that someone is thinking about them, just knowing that someone is concerned about their situation and all that. And then for couples who get support from family, depending on the size of your family, you need to understand also that there are times when it may seem like they've forgotten. Because depending on the size of your family, there may be times when you need to plan weddings. There may be times when it has to be birthdays. There may be times when you've got to plan a family vacation. There may be times when you've got anniversaries to plan, and you kind of like get lost in the whole of these plans. People are not asking you as much as they used to anymore, but that doesn't mean they've forgotten. Remember, their lives, they also have lives to live, right? The earth wouldn't stop because you have a challenge. They also have their lives to live. But then this is family, and what family does is stick together. And so believe me, they haven't forgotten. They're praying for you. They are praying for you in their private time. And some would still call you in between those busy moments, will still call to check up on you and ask and know how you're doing. But believe me, family is one thing you need. And so if you're family to someone who is going through this challenge right now, I tell you, reach out to them, talk to them, pray for them, show them that you care, show them that you're there. You may not have to over push it. Just take it as they give to you. They will open up to you gradually. Once they are able to tell that you've showed genuine concern, they will open up to you gradually. The third place we got support from were from close friends. Close friends. I remember my wife comes back home sometimes from the office, and her colleagues in the office, her close friends in the office will suggest one or two hospitals where we should try. And that meant a lot. Just the suggestion alone was a lot. It meant a lot to us. I have a colleague in the office also, who once I tell that this was our next course of action, be sure he buzzes my phone for like 5 times. Baby, I know you I know you may be watching this, and I'm talking about you. He buzzes my phone for like 5 times every day, keeps calling every second, every hour. He calls. What's happening? What stage are you guys now? Has it been done yet? What's the result? And that meant a lot to me. He's one person I could open up to and tell virtually everything that that we're going through in that journey. And so close friends. But I want to make particular mention of my neighbor. You see, it's good to have people who are sensitive to your plight, who are sensitive to your concerns around you. We moved to a new place in 2018, and the house just opposite mine, we live on number 4 and 5. This person I'm talking about, we live on number 4 and 5. One Sunday afternoon, we are just closed from church, and we're sitting at home with my wife and watching TV and talking. And he came in with his wife. We've become very close, and so he came into the house with his wife. And just like usual, they come visiting and we gist and chat. But on this particular day, they came in, and he asked me. He said they've been praying for us, but they just want to know, at what stage are we? I mean, what have we tried? I mean, what's really going on, regarding us bearing children? He says, because he sees how I play with his children, how we play with the children and all. And so he's been praying that God will give us children as well. But he just wants to know. They just want to know. And before I answered, I was so touched. I mean, that melted me completely. And even when they left, my wife said the same thing. It melted us completely. I mean, these are people. Those are the kind of people that couples who are going through infertility want to have around them. People who see beyond them and who are not so afraid, because in this world, the world we live in now, people want to say, okay, I'm respecting boundary and all that. But we were close, and he saw that closeness to the point where he knew that it was safe, to to talk to me about children. And we did explain to them, and it's amazing that I think 3 or 4 months after we had that conversation, we got the first ever positive pregnancy result, and which resulted to our baby, a couple of months down the line. And so it's important that close family and friends. And now for believers, there's another pool for you to draw support from, which is, yes, the Bible, but the local church, your local church. This is one place where people find emotional, physical, and spiritual support, right? Spiritual support. It's important. If you've got a local church, you can find support from the local church. But however, this depends on the structures that the church has in place and how effective they are. There may be existing structures that are supposed to cater for your emotional need, especially in the area of infertility. But if it's not effective, and I would like to say that it is not enough as a preacher to know you have such couple in your congregation and just let them depend on you just preaching and sharing the word every day. That is good. They can draw faith from it as well. But there's nothing as good as you being the minister, calling that person up and saying, what's happening? We just want to know. And pray. Even when you need to pray, you pray with them personally. It adds another layer to your care. It adds another color to your role as the spiritual head over that person. Couples who are experiencing infertility require a whole lot of support. And if you find yourself in a place where you can offer that or give that support, don't hold back at all. And so don't lock yourself in, and then learn to take support when it is being offered. Don't bolt yourself in as much as you're setting boundaries as to the amount of information to give out. Don't lock people out. There are those who come in with genuine concern, just like my neighbor that I talked about. There are those who come in with genuine concerns, and they offer you a shoulder to lean on. Like I always say, miracles take a little time, and you are not alone. If you've not subscribed to my channel yet, please click on the subscribe button. And for all who have subscribed and all who have left me a comment in the comment section, thank you so much. I love you, and God bless you.